In today's video, I'll be going over Phase 1 of the Quality of Life Initiative for DBD and a sneak peek into Phase 2. If you liked the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you could give it a like and subscribe to the channel. So Bhvr has announced that they are working on some important changes that will affect the game going forward for the better in this Quality of Life update. Phase 1 will be coming in April and going through June, and Phase 2 will be coming out from July through December. So starting off with Phase 1 and the anti-slugging surrender option. So Bhvr has come out and said that they are working on a new surrender state for survivors, which should limit players' frustration on both sides to get it right. They identified two scenarios where it would be most appropriate and most useful. Those two scenarios would be where all remaining survivors have been slugged and all remaining survivors are bots. Once these instances have occurred, players will be able to use the surrender option, ending the trial while retaining their blood points they earned during the match, as well as escaping the disconnection penalty. When I see things like this happening in a game where the killer had already had two survivors killed and had another survivor and myself slugged on the ground, they had no interest in playing the game whatsoever. They just wanted to be controlling and show dominance. How many times do you think the killer swung their weapon at me before I bled out? It was a total of 23 times. So Bhvr wants to reward this type of gameplay by giving survivors the option to surrender their game and give the killer free points. Why? Why do the killers a favor? Why do the killers deserve this? The devs think that this is an actual solution? I'm actually mind blown over the stupidity and logic of this. Somebody in the comments let me know, because to me, this idea they have is straight trash. This player that played the Singularity in this match was just doing this for whatever reason they thought. I guess it was for fun. So my thinking is, if they were just doing this before the idea of the surrender option, what's going to stop them from doing it after the option's available in the live servers? They will just do it to see how many times they can get survivor players to surrender and cut their game short. I would like to ask a question to any player of the killer community who plays this way. Why do you do it, and what's the point of it? Is it about control and showing dominance like I said, or is it about something else altogether? Because I know myself when I play killer, which is a lot, and I've not done this before, and I won't going forward. Sometimes the easiest solution is the best solution, but I'll get to that shortly. I see things like this happening in the game where the game just starts and the killer ends up downing all 4 survivors and just leaves us there while they just walk around and leave us slugged and bleeding out like the Michael did in this game for close to 2 minutes before he decided to pick us up and start hooking us. To me, that's taking the game hostage. You can't do gens or any other objective to play the game and have any fun at all. Why should it be allowed to be considered a playable strategy when one side benefits and the other side just has to lay there and wait to be either killed or bleed out? Where's the fun in that? That's way too much of an overpowered strategy for one side to be able to use. Even with Unbreakable, it doesn't help. You only get to pick yourself up one time and then it's a dead perk besides being able to heal yourself faster and hope somebody gets to you. But even if they do and you get picked up, if the killer eventually downs you again and leaves you there slugged, then what? Nothing, because you're just left there waiting to bleed out. And if you DC from the game, you get penalized and lose all your points. So Bhvr wants to do what they always do and take so much more time than needed to fix a simple issue. They want to take time and test out, as they say, different iterations of ways to fix the slugging issues. One of those ways is to give the slug survivor the option to surrender their game and end their match early, and you won't lose your points for disconnecting either. So right away, because all it's gonna do is make killers want to do this more and more and more. To be honest, the slugging issue will only persist and the survivor community will be worse off than ever when it comes to slugging. It doesn't matter what they come up with. As a solution, it's not gonna work. They already had the solution and they changed it. I think the simplest and easiest way to fix the slugging issues is by giving survivors base kit Unbreakable, and if a survivor is down for a certain amount of time, then they just get to pick themselves up. This way it punishes the killer by losing the chance to hook a survivor and gain points, and the survivor gets to continue playing. I say this because why should the survivor have to forfeit their game or surrender their game, as they want to put it, because the killer wants to take advantage of what is considered to be a strategy in slugging? It's a rhetorical question. They shouldn't. It's ridiculous. Punish the killer, not the survivor, and make them have to pick up the survivor or slug them for a lot less amount of time. It's not a fix that should take as long as Bhvr is planning on. Those are my thoughts on the slugging solution. What do you think should be done to permanently fix slugging? Let me know in the comments. Next up, gamma settings. This is a new setting, and it's being introduced to all platforms where players can adjust their gamma settings, so visibility can be adjusted if players find it too dark, like I do when I'm facing the dredge. Sometimes I find myself running into a wall or a bush, or just walking around randomly and can't see where I'm going because it's too dark, and end up getting smashed by the killer. So this will be a nice addition to the gaming experience without losing the artistic general direction that was intended. Go Next Prevention is the next quality of life change that's being implemented into the game. It's basically when a survivor does anything they can to get killed and go to the next game, like pointing to the hook to get the killer to hook you, then taking chances on the hook, or just taking chances on your first hook to get the second hook, and then missing skill checks to die on hook. This just kills the game and hurts the chances of the remaining survivors of escaping the match. This happens all the time because players load into a match and they see the killer they don't like or a map they don't want to play on, but like I said before, if you ready up, then be ready to play. So this new change, I really actually love it. It's gonna force players to play properly, and if they don't, they're gonna get a disconnection penalty point and lose an entire grade, which is ruthless. And guess what? Yeah, I love it. It's so deserving. I'm tired of being in matches and seeing people do this type of behavior. It's ridiculous. You want to play the game. Don't just pick and choose. They're even going to reward players that stick around for matches that seem to be lost because of that player that quit or killed themselves. And how they're going to do that is with a new system with an emblem-based multiplier that grants additional blood points in your following match, with the bonus stacking over multiple trials. So I really like this change, and the fact they will be monitoring it closely for accuracy, I like it even more. I can really see this stopping the Go Next, or at least slowing it right down. Up next, they have extreme hiding and body blocking prevention. So extreme hiding refers to survivors who refrain from doing objectives in matches that they see unwinnable and waiting out the clock. This literally happens in every other game I play in, and I'm really happy bhvr is finally doing something about this. Their solution is to rework the AFK crows so that they now identify when a player is purposely not helping the team by doing objectives. So once a player gets 3 crows circling them, their location will immediately be revealed to the killer. This is perfect. I mean, it does give the killer a bit of an advantage, but the hope here is that the players that play this way will not want the crows on them, so they will be helping the team out with objectives instead of just hiding out, letting everyone else do the work while they just wait around for the right time to escape. I absolutely love this. This is a great idea and a great fix. I'm really looking forward to seeing this in action. Look out, all you slacking survivors. Your days of hiding out and doing nothing are numbered. But I do wonder what will happen when there are 2 survivors left in the match, one on the hook and the other waiting around for them to die to get the hatch. Will the survivor who's not on the hook get crows and have their location revealed to the killer, or will the hook survivor be allowed to give up since this endgame without a disconnection penalty? Some food for thought there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, they also put in another effect with the AFK crows. So if you get a 3rd crow, you will lose collision, and the hopes here is that it'll stop instances of body blocking related griefing. Now, I made a short about this before, and if you've seen it, you know I honestly don't care about body blocking unless it's done in a way that prevents a survivor from getting out of an area, like on the left side of the generator and main building of Area Crows. Map offerings were the next item on the list of changes coming with the quality of life update, and when bhvr was going over the changes for these offerings, this is what they had to say. We recognize that map offerings are a bit divisive. Some players enjoy them, while others feel they can grant an unfair advantage. The fact that they automatically bypass both the map and realm repetition system can also add to that frustration. So moving forward, map offerings will no longer guarantee the appearance of a given map, but rather increase its chances by 20%. Note that they will not stack. We're also looking to make it so map offerings, as well as several other types of offerings, will remain secret during load-in. That way your decision to remain in the match will not be swayed by external factors. I'm fine with this change. I think it's nice to switch things up, and I feel it'll make maps more special when we do go to them, because we're not having that option to just go to them whenever we want. I know for content creators this might suck a bit because they want a certain map for certain types of footage, but I'm sure they can work around it. The spawn rules are getting a shakeup, and this one I'm not a fan of. To avoid having survivors spawning in different points on the map, making the early game tougher on killers, from now on, survivors will spawn together. This will do 2 things: stop killers from losing gens in the early game, and help keep hex totems in the match longer. The offerings that allow you to start with someone else and start as far away from the killer as possible are also going to be getting a rework. Improved AFK Bot Detection. bhvr has also said that they will be improving their detection system and deal with AFK bots and these individuals faster who are using them. Gaining XP, iridescent shards, and blood points is my only guess as to why killer players do this, but not for long I hope, so a good change overall. Next we have a long-awaited change to the blood web, where we can now spend our blood points in bulk. I like this a lot because buying one item at a time or buying a whole web at a time is long and tedious, and having a way to speed up the spending process will be nice. Although I do like this change, I really hope we can be able to buy certain items first, like an Alex's toolkit or a gel dressing or a party streamer, and not waste our blood points on things I don't want, like those brown add-ons. Quests are now being added to Dead by Daylight. Not much information has been given about this specific update. I'm hoping it'll be more challenges like dailies, weeklies, and monthlies with bigger blood point rewards. We do know that it will be in regards to the Rift and the archives. The grind will be decreased to earn rewards and the fun will be increased. We will have to wait for more information, but any new addition to learning more about the archives and the Rift, I'm all for it. Individual perk loadouts will be available to be visible during the time players are in the lobby. In addition, there will be more perk loadout slots. I do like this change because I like having specific builds to use, so being able to quickly go between them will be nice. As far as being able to see your own loadout while in the lobby, unless you can see your teammates' loadouts, I don't see the point of this change, considering you already know what's in your own loadout. It would make much more sense for your team to be able to see your other team members' loadout, so you're not doubling up on the same perks, especially in solo queue. So I know they didn't clarify that, but if not, then I don't see the point of making this change. And those are all the changes in Phase 1 of the Quality of Life update coming in April to June. Now for a little on Phase 2 on the roadmap that will be talked about at this year's anniversary broadcast in May. Anti-slugging will be continued to getting improved on, as well as anti-tunneling and anti-camping, which is great because I'm tired of having things like what happened in this clip happen to me by killers like this Chucky in this match earlier this week. The MMR is getting some changes, which will also be a welcome addition, and map and key balancing is also in the works, which is nice because they have been so irrelevant for so long, and I have so many of them in my inventory, and it would be nice to get some use out of them. Now, keyboard and mouse on console really interests me. I wonder exactly how that's going to work. There's also going to be some custom game improvements, accessibility improvements, reduced login steps, so a lot of changes on the horizon for Dead by Daylight, and I'm very excited to see how the game's going to look after all of these changes are live. And don't think I forgot about the prestige rewards. I don't know what they're going to be, but I am really excited that they are coming. Something actually to be excited about in Dead by Daylight. Who figured? I'll be keeping my ear close to the fog for updates as we get closer to these changes going live. What do you think about all these changes coming in Phase 1? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.